Hello.
Hi! We're gonna try and make this video short because it's almost 1 in the morning here in Canada.
At least while we're filming this, because she won't let me go to bed, so.
I want to make sure this gets done and we don't forget again. So seeing as I already made a video on self-harm, she's gonna do most of the talking, but I will add some input on because my last one was kind of short and not that much information on it. So as you can tell, we're gonna be talking about self-harm, any kind of sort, it's not just cutting and things like that. So, start.
Alright. First, in no way do I endorse or condone the fact that you self-harm. I don't do it that my daughter, I don't condone that she does it. I do, however, understand why and the reasoning behind it and the emotional pain that comes with it and that it releases. Second, the definition of self-harm is to do harm to one's body. Therefore, self-harm to me is everything from what you ingest food-wise to physically cutting or burning and scarring your body. That means people who are anorexic self-harm just as badly as somebody who cuts or burns themselves. Or
self-harm could be even biting or scratching or pulling of the hair. That's self-harm.
Yeah, anything that hurts, that you do to yourself that hurts you, is self-harm. With that said, it's a difficult topic to talk about because we're still going through that right now in our house. So all we can do is offer you our personal opinions and emotions around it, because we have no answers for you.
At least not yet. But we're working on that.
Right?
We're getting very close.
We have no answers, and there's no problem sharing any answers if we ever do find any, but it's a slow process. If you are a self-harmer, if you are the parent of a self-harmer, do not yell or get angry because of your child self-harming. The last thing they need is for you to scream at them because they cut themselves, or because they,
don't eat.
Or they eat and throw up and you don't know what's going on.
Yelling at them is just going to make them want to do it even more because they're going to feel even more worthless and like a piece of shit, basically.
And what comes with that too is promiscuity, because now they're feeling like they're not being loved at home, so they're going to go out and get love elsewhere. You need someone to talk to. They need someone to talk to. For parents of children who self-harm and you have no one that's in this situation, no friends, no family, there are lots of places that you can find people to talk to that will help you deal with this in your child. If you are, and I say this sadly, lucky enough to be a parent who self-harmed and have a child that's going through that, I would ask that you put yourself out there so that people who, like me, who have a child that self-harms but has never been a self-harmer and doesn't know anybody really that have been, that we have questions. What do we do to protect our child? How do we help our child? What would have worked for you when you were a child? Self-harm is more sorry, I've lost the word now. Is more prevalent, thank you, that's what I was looking for, in our society today. It's more common because it's more accessible knowledge-wise through the internet. I swear to God, the internet was the worst thing that ever happened to us.
Yeah, definitely.
Our kids have learned so much garbage and so many ways to hurt themselves and us and society in general. We've bullied people online to the point of suicide. People get picked on because of their gender specificities. Because of who they are sexually. We'll say that, okay? Harder, I think, they get picked on now. Kids in general get picked on now because of issues that arise from what they learn online. And yeah, okay, there's as much as you can do as a parent. You can set your controls and all of that. But you know what? When you've got a 13-year-old kid that can skirt their way around all of your parental controls, how are you going to stop them if you're not home to catch them? You can't. And once they start seeing shit like that, you can't take it back. When they start to cut, you can't take it back. And it gets worse. And it gets worse, and it gets worse. And then there's the calm before the storm. When everything gets worse. And it's as bad as it's ever going to get. They've hit rock bottom, and you're stuck there, and you're holding on for dear life going, how do I help you? And they can't answer that question for you. Because they don't know what they need. They don't know what help they need. They don't know what is causing the crippling depression that causes them to self-harm. I mean, yes, some answers are obvious. The kids at school are picking on her because she's fat. So she self-harms by eating and then binging and then purging. You know, I mean, bulimia and anorexia and anorexia nervosa, they are all serious, serious self-harm diseases. As bad as cutting, except slower, much slower. Painful. I mean, it's disgusting to look at yourself in the mirror and see a 300-pound person.
When that's not actually
in reality,
the case.
You're 78 pounds, soaking wet, and in the next few days, all of your organs are going to shut down.
My mom has had anorexia and bulimia, and she's never really done any self-harm other than that, besides bullying herself, and it has hurt her a lot.
I'll tell you, you'll never, ever hear this out of a doctor's mouth until it's too late. Anorexia and bulimia change your metabolism. You'll never lose or gain weight the same way. You put on a lot of weight once you start to get better. And, you know, the emotional aspect of it is dealt with, and the trauma that you dealt with being picked on is dealt with. But your body will never be the same. You'll never be thin again. You'll never be, you know, and you'll always struggle to either keep the weight on or get it off. It just is, that's the way it is. As for physical self-harming with a razor blade, it's just dangerous. Flat out, it's dangerous. I would rather see somebody burn with a lighter than razor blade it. Because truth be told, all it takes is one shot. That's it. You're fucked. You're dead. You're gone.
I've had that happen to me once, almost. If I hadn't have told my mom about what I had done, I would probably not be here right now. I would be passed out, bleeding to death in our trailer. And I don't know what I would do, because there are good things in life, and I don't want to leave behind my parents or my sister, because they're my world. And my sister, to be honest, is the one that's kept me alive this entire time. And as I agree with her, I'd rather see somebody pick up a lighter or bite themselves or things like that rather than have them cut themselves, because cutting is one of the most dangerous forms of self-harm out there, which is why so many people do it, because they're looking for an escape. And from somebody that is going through it and has done it, they're trying to inflict the emotional pain that they feel on the inside on the out most of the time. They're trying to be able to feel it physically and see the pain physically that they're going through.
I see it differently. I don't see it as, oh no, they're just, attention seekers and blah, blah, blah. Because there are kids out there that do it for the attention. That's just the way it is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There are kids out there that do it because they know it draws attention and they get the attention they crave and require. And when your child is doing that, you need to step back and say, why? Because realistically, there's some kind of attention that they're craving that they're not getting. I'm not blaming it on the parents. Absolutely by no means. Because for all we know, it's genetically hardwired, same as being gay or straight is. I do know, though, that if there is mental health in your family, a lot of it is genetic. Is very genetic, and it comes through your genes and your DNA. It's literally part of who you are.
For us, for instance, my mom has several mental health disorders, and I'm getting them now because it's in my genetics. My mom.
Well, you're not necessarily getting them. We are in the process of finding out what's going on with you.
I do have clinical depression, and my mom has been diagnosed with that before.
I have bipolar disorder.
Which the doctors are thinking I'm having now as well, but...
Well, and that bipolar
happen.
is actually one of the mental health disorders that is genetic. It's a mental defect in the brain that's caused by the serotonin level, which is a chemical that controls your happy and sad moods. The level of your serotonin, if it's a low number, is a sad number, and a higher number is when you're happy. You have manic days and you have depression days. Manic days can last, for me anyways, 2-3 days. And depression can go for months. I've gone 4 months in like the biggest funk I could ever think of. And, you know, and that's after, and continuing to see my psychiatrist and talk to my doctors and all of that. I take my medication every day. You know, I mean, but in the end, medication is just that, medication. It's not going to be the end all to be all the end of the answer. It won't solve your problems. It won't solve self-harming. But there is something in your life that's causing you to self-harm. You need to stop, step back, take a look, and see what it is that's causing that emotional trauma. And you see it help. And yeah, in some instances it's not easy to get the help because you're in a situation you can't get away from. And you've been threatened, or if you tell somebody I'm going to hurt you or I'm going to hurt your mom. Do you know what? Tell anyways. Because somebody will protect that person they threaten to hurt. And you need to get that person off the street and away from other people that he can do this to or she can do this to. You know, I mean, self-harm is a huge issue, and it's a hot button issue in our house because we have such a problem with it. But, I mean, in the end, all I can say is you got to keep fighting the good fight. Don't give up. If you give up, that's when you're likely to hurt yourself the most. And in the end, if you kill yourself because you cut or because you have anorexia and bulimia, or do you know what I mean? Any of those kind of disorders. I mean, even if you eat nothing but junk food and smoke and drink, is still self-harming. And realistically, self-harm is just another word for self-medicating. And that's all drinking, drugs, and, promiscuity are, is self-medicating. And all of that are part and parcel with self-harm. So, I just want to say, be strong. Last long. Because your life is only beginning, and don't let it slip away right now.
I have a few things to add from my input. There's this one band that I'm very, very fond of. This is the first thing I'm going to say, called Pierce the Veil. And if you're not into heavy metal, screamo, things like that, find an acoustic version of these songs. There's a song called Hold On Till May, which is it's a very acoustic song, and it's a very good song. It helps me feel better at times. And then there's a song called A Match in the Water, which, if you're not into that kind of music, you will probably need to find an acoustic cover or an acoustic version of it. And the first few lyrics of the Match into the Water are, I kiss the scars on her skin, I still think you're beautiful, and I don't ever want to lose my best friend. And the entire song is trying to explain that you're going to be okay. That no matter what, you will get through this. If it's not okay, like, in the end, everything will be okay. If it's not okay, it's not the end. And I know, coming from a person that has, going back to the topic where your parents getting angry at you, I remember when I first started, and I know my mom's not very proud of this, but she did get angry at times, and it doesn't, again, if you're a parent watching this, it doesn't help yelling and screaming at your children for this. It does not help. I remember when I went to a hospital, just trying to check myself in because I was so scared. And I didn't watch it overnight because it was in the adult mental health ward. And basically what happened was they just made a plan on what to do. I wasn't allowed to be alone. I had to sleep out in the living room, which I'm pretty sure my mom remembers. I still sleep out in the living room now, but that's because of an entirely different reason. And I couldn't even take a shower with the door closed.
No knife.
No.
Still not allowed to have any sharps.
No sharp objects. They're all out here. And my mom always makes sure I'm normally asleep before she falls asleep. And if you're a parent, just try and be there for them. Support them as best as you can. Because, yeah, some people do this for attention, and some do it because they're so miserable they don't know what to do. Self-harm becomes an addiction after a while because you don't know where else to turn. I've been doing this for probably coming up to 2 years now. In March it will be 2 years. Sorry, no, just before March. It will be 2 years. And I'm not proud of that, to be honest. I'm very, very upset with myself. I get angry a lot at myself. And the reason I started is because I was getting very heavily bullied. And my school did nothing. Absolutely nothing about it. So that was just not a good time for me. And I heard because the internet is stupid and bullshit. I saw on the internet people that were doing this to themselves were feeling better. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I do this, I'll feel better. So I tried. And then after about 2 months of just little cat scratches, they got deeper and deeper and deeper, and to the point where during the summer I could have died. And I've done more like that. I think I have about 7 of those. And some aren't in critical places. Some are. But I remember for a period of time, I was doing it for attention. I remember for a little bit of the time I was. And then when I realized that that was not the right attention to get, I didn't want to anymore. I thought it was selfish of me to do. And I became very angry at myself after that. And all I have to say is be strong, guys. Your life is worth it. You're important. You're not worthless. I know how it feels to wake up every morning and not have the energy or motivation to wake up. To get up. I know how it feels to paint over your mirror or write words on your mirror because you don't want to look at yourself anymore. I know how it feels to just shut down. I'm a good person to talk to in some cases, and so is my mom. She's a very good person to talk to, actually, because she's very caring and is always there. And as always, links will be in the description for all of our things that you can contact us at. And yeah, self-harm is an addiction eventually, and sometimes you don't even know why you're doing it anymore. Sometimes you know and sometimes you don't. And we need to stop. I am currently a month clean, and even if you're only a day clean, I will celebrate it with you because that's one day that you have not hurt yourself. And then just keep going until you get better. And my stepmom used to, and she still misses it sometimes, but she doesn't go back to it. And it takes a strong person and a lot of will to do that. And yeah, guys, be strong. You're amazing. I love you all very, very much. And if you have any questions about self-harm or anything very serious like that, please just contact us. So that's gonna be it. I said this video is probably gonna be short, but I lied. It's about 20 minutes long now. And my mom is just getting ready to go to bed, so I'm going to join her.
Oh, that would be nice.
So thank you all for watching. We love you. And be strong and stay alive. Bye, guys.